started. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Monday for the Multifamily Market Update, presented by the Multifamily Investment Advisors team here at Keller Williams One Chicago and Keller Williams Commercial. Have an aggressive agenda plan for you all today. We're going to start this off by passing the ball over to Drew Heitzman, our Director of Market Analytics, to provide us with some updates.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Drew Heitzman speaking. Would someone be able to provide me the screen share capabilities?
Yeah, I'll work on that right now. You should have access to it now.
Okay. So not a ton has changed over the last week, not a ton to update, but it's been the 10-year yield has been trading in the range between 1.6 and 1.7. As you can see here on the 19th, saw a high of 1.69 and it's down about 8 basis points lower to 1.61 today. One catalyst to look out for at the end of this week is the April Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, which is a measure of inflation, and that is due out Friday. So that's all I have to share this week. Appreciate it, Travis.
Thanks for that update, Drew. We're going to pass it over to Vince Ewing today. He's going to provide us with some updates as to what he's seeing in regards to trends for investors in the marketplace.
How's it going, Travis? I've got a screen share myself if you want to pass the ball.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Bang, bang. All right. So we're looking at, with Chicago, a market with room for growth. And that's really going to be the thesis statement that separates Chicago from some of the coastal giants you see with New York and LA. The average sale price coming in at $1 million for New York, as you can see here. LA, 500,000. Chicago, just over 300,000. So we're still seeing an environment where investors that are nationally looking for the best of both worlds, with, a high population in the metro as well as room for growth, find Chicago as an ideal landing spot. And I'm just getting calls from East Coast investors last week that are hot on some of these undervalued markets we're seeing on the south side, such as Woodlawn, Auburn, Gresham, and others. Business Insider magazine rating Chicago as one of the top 5 places to buy a rental property. It's one of the few cities in the nation where housing prices still haven't rose above their 2006 levels. So we're seeing Chicago as a unique place in that it provides kind of that huge population, still a city with 36 Fortune 500 companies holding their headquarters in the Metro MSE, so competitive for investors and renters alike. Many renters still paying less than 20% of their monthly income on rent, spending less rather, as I should say. And a lot of factors guarantee that those renters will not become home buyers in the near future. So we see kind of low cap investors that want to take on properties that they may fully renovate, or, investors that want to get a more stable kind of legacy asset coming in, getting those high rents in areas like Logan Square, Wicker Park, and those such things. Areas like Rogers Park, Logan Square, Pilsen, Avondale, Humboldt Park, and Westtown, still seeing a boom of investors. And might I say, this is the only city within the top 10 population count that still has more than 50% of the population being renters. Just an ideal situation for investors. Locally, you do see fear and doubt arising, as you see in any local environment with people that are used to the market. But I want to reassure, there are investors hot on the trot to get in on these properties that locals might be trying to get out of. And Chicago still maintains to be a hot market. And with that, I'll pass it right back to you, Travis.
Thanks for that update, Vince. Definitely a strong market here in Chicago. Also seeing some very great developments happening. We're going to pass the ball over to Jason York to share some updates he's seeing in that field.
Yep. Thanks, Trav. Just sharing my screen now. So wanted to touch base on some new developments that surfaced last week within the Illinois Medical District. I believe a few episodes ago, we did talk about the Marquette companies planning nearly 700 units right on Harrison in Ogden, or Harrison and Damon. And last week, we saw some more information come out with additional development in that same area from East Lake Management, which is planning about 160 units right on the intersection of Ogden and Damon. And this has been in the works for, I want to say, half a decade. But just recently, East Lake Management was able to secure financing to actually begin the project. So that's really exciting for the Illinois Medical District. We're seeing a lot of units being planned within that small area, especially for workforce housing and the students, workers, and faculty in the Illinois Medical District area. So definitely something to keep our eyes on. I believe the expected timeline for the new development at 2050 West Ogden is scheduled for next summer, I believe. So definitely something to keep our eye on.
Definitely agree with you there, Jason, especially in the Illinois Medical District. We're seeing some hot developments pop up over there in that market. And now we're actually going to pass the ball over to Cody Danielchek, who's actually going to be going over some information as to how investors can really force appreciation in their assets.
Thanks for that, Travis. All right. So, absolutely. Let me just hide that really quick. There are some great ways to force appreciation in your assets. I've touched on this for the past few weeks, but the ADU pilot zone applications have opened up May 1st. So definitely get a jump on that. If you have a either a conforming, non-conforming, or a accessory dwelling unit or a garden unit style apartment that you'd like to see producing revenue for your cash flow, and contact the city to get that rolling. If you have any questions about ADU pilot zones in general, there's 5 different areas scattered all around Chicago in which they're promoting these zones and these ADUs for affordable housing. They're trying to create more housing, which is great. In regards to opportunity zones, there are still several opportunity zone areas in Chicago. Forgive me for that. The opportunity zones are a fantastic way to create a tax shelter for your assets when you build or when you improve a property. And it also helps improve the area as well, which is why the city's so on board with providing you that tax relief in these situations. If you have any questions about where an opportunity zone is, if a property or an asset of yours falls within there, or something you're considering taking a look at falls within an opportunity zone, please feel free to give me a call or an email. And then lastly, I'd like to talk about cell phone towers on roofs. I'm starting to see them more and more as I'm climbing up on roofs. And the 5G towers. Apparently, you need a lot more of those than you do normal cell phone towers, 4G and below. So there are some companies, if your asset falls within a certain area of need for these cell phone providers, you may be able to lease out your rooftop space to these companies and improve your revenue, and thus force some appreciation. But that's all I've got today. Back to you.
Thanks, Cody, for sharing that information. See, Tony Hardy's on the line. We're actually going to pass the ball over to our executive director, Tony Hardy, to provide us with some updates into the multifamily market.
Thanks, Travis. My internet is a little spotty, but I'll try to be quick. The Southside Community Investors Association. How am I? Am I coming through clear or no?
Yeah, you're coming through clear.
Yeah. Awesome. The Southside Community Investors Association is having a meeting in conjunction with Greater Chatham Initiative this Thursday at 5:30. They're going to have economists from DePaul University come on and deep dive into the statistics about Chicagoland, the South Side. You always hear reports about people moving out of the South Side or people moving out of the city. He's going to talk about where they're going. Really insightful. Last year, he said, yeah, Chatham lost 1,000 people, but Auburn Gresham gained 1,000 people. and he's able to see that migratory pattern showed that they were looking for value because Auburn Gresham is a little bit less expensive than Chatham. So that's definitely been insightful. To sign up for that, you can go to southsideinvestmentproperty.com. Again, southsideinvestmentproperty.com. Also, Cody mentioned the ADU pilot zones. The application is out for the 5 pilot zone areas that was launched earlier this month. Definitely want to encourage you to apply. Even if you aren't in a pilot zone, you can still apply for the ADU pilot zone. If you need help navigating that web, don't hesitate to reach out to our team. And finally, applications are open for rental assistance program from the city, the state, the county, and federal. There are hundreds of millions of dollars available. One good website to go to for resources is preservationcompact.org. Preservationcompact.org. They can link you up with the tools, the resources that you need in order to find out what the application process is and get you in touch with the right people. Thanks for that, Travis. Back to you.
Definitely some great information there, Tony. Just want to share with you all a few upcoming events that I'm seeing out here in the market. Tony briefly touched on it with the Investor Summit, which is going to be May 27th, which is this Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. That's going to be presented by the Greater Chatham Initiative and the Southside Community Investors Association. And then also we have another upcoming event on Friday, June 18th, where we're going to be going over the Power Lunch Retail Trends and Analysis, which is actually going to be presented by our Executive Director, Tony Hardy. And in order to sign up for that, please drop your information in the chat selection and we'll gladly get you that registration over. And lastly, we have another event by the Neighborhood Building Owners Alliance, where it's going to be an in-person outdoor reception where they're just going to have a networking event. And that's going to be Thursday, June 3rd from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And that's actually going to be sponsored by the second alderman, Brian Hopkins, and Salerno's Pizza of Chicago. And then once again, next Monday, we're always going to be here to present the multifamily market update. And you all have a great day.
Thanks, guys.